I wanted to talk a little bit about Zaalbar. So right now I have SWGOH up, and I just wanted to talk through his kit. I call him a more honest version of the reworked Mace Windu. I say that somewhat tongue-in-cheek. So Mace Windu gets this resilient defense, which is essentially a taunt, but it says that he gets the resilient defense for the rest of the encounter. So you think that the only way he can lose it is when enemies attack into him. So he'll get a certain amount of stacks, and he loses one stack when he's damaged by an attack. The thought is you could get him stacks of resilient defense, and the opponent would be forced to attack into them. So he also has a 100% counter chance. However, this resilient defense comes up as a buff that can just be debuffed very easily. So it's not like a locked in buff or some sort of debuff or like that blue status effect that we see sometimes. So I thought that was incredibly deceptive with the wording on that. But the idea of having taunt and this counter was pretty powerful, and a character who has a similar interaction is Zaalbar. And basically, and this is showing the Zeta, but the only thing that the Zeta adds to this is this protection regeneration for each damage over time effect, so you don't need the Zeta for this at all. The key here is when any other ally falls below 100% health, Zaalbar gains taunt and retribution for 2 turns. So he has taunt and he has the retribution. These are just normal buffs. So I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that interaction a lot, and I think one of the keys to his kit is it's any other ally, so it doesn't have to be an Old Republic ally. You can put him into any team, and whenever anyone on the team falls below 100% health, he'll throw up the taunt with retribution. Your opponent will have to tack into Zaalbar. When they do, he'll hit them back. And I thought it was nice because these are just normal buffs, so they can be dispelled, of course, but there's nothing that would make you think otherwise. Whereas with Mace Windu, you think it can't be dispelled, he's going to be countering. And then, I mean, he has a lot of other good skills and abilities to use, but just that one particular interaction is not how, at least I imagined it, and not how a lot of other people thought that would work when they were reading the kit. So that's one of the reasons why I like Zaalbar. It's just a more honest and straightforward Mace Windu. Also, you know, as I said, I'm a huge fan of Knights of the Old Republic, so I do like the idea of building up the Old Republic team. You kind of already had to do that in order to get Malik, so most of mine are gear 12 already, so it's not a huge deal in terms of pushing them up to Relic level. I was looking through the Relic player data here, and if you're not familiar with SWGOH.gg, it's an excellent website. You should bookmark it because there's a lot of really good information that you can see. And one of the things that you can look at, you can see the Relic data from all the players in the game. Now you can look at the top 100 by galactic power, so the 100 players who have the most galactic power, you can look at them and see how they're distributing their relics. But I like to look at what everybody has done, because something that I realized was that if you sort it by Relic 9, you can see where people are putting their Relic 9 materials. I thought this was weird. Jedi Master Kenobi being so high up. I feel like SLKR or Sith Eternal would benefit more than Jedi Master Kenobi, but interesting note. But one thing that I realized was that there are a lot of characters with 0 Relic 9s in the game. So these are characters that have just been overlooked. If you look at, you know, who these characters are, it makes a lot of these make sense. But you'll see when we find Zaalbar, there is exactly one Relic 9. And that one was actually me. When I first pulled this up, that was 0. Nobody had a Relic 9 Zaalbar in the entire game. And I thought that was incredibly disrespectful to Zaalbar in terms of the character. He is a tank, and tanks get the most benefit from Relic 9. And I understand that there are a lot of characters who benefit greatly from having Relic 9. I will do a video at some point looking at some of the philosophies behind Relic 9. I think my personal philosophy is that I'm looking at tanks, pilots, and galactic legends. So if you have characters who are both tanks and pilots, for example, General Kenobi or Kylo Ren Unmasked, they get the benefit of the increased Relic 9 viability just as a function of being a tank. They get the biggest boost to their stats, but they also get the benefit of being pilots and having that extra Relic level increase the stats to their ships. So going into the game, I actually did this live when I was on stream, but I was on the wrong screen because I'm still a noob. Here he is. I am the proud owner of the only Relic 9 Zaalbar in the entire game. So I do have a crit avoidance arrow on him. I really don't have the best mods on him currently, but it's enough to get the job done. These are the stats that he's got. He has 74.7% armor, and a really nice part of his kit is that he gains 20% defense each time he takes damage for 1 turn. So as he's throwing up the taunt, the enemies are attacking into him. He gets 20% defense, and there's no limit to how many times that stacks. So he doesn't really need to be that fast. I probably have more speed on him than I should, but I like this skill too. He can get an armor shred out onto an opponent. So yeah, that's I felt like, you know, everyone is disrespecting Zaalbar. I had to put a little bit of respect on his name, get one Relic 9 out there. And you might be wondering kind of what sparked that, and I just got really pumped up. I'll go back to SWGOH.gg. So I started playing around with some teams, and I just started putting them on the back wall, and you can see that this is a horrible team. I mean, I think Old Ben or Qui-Gon both would have been better leads for the team. No, this was not an Omicron Qui-Gon. This was just a normal Qui-Gon Jinn. But I'm not sure that I like the call of Mace Windu lead. I'm not sure that either would have made much of a difference, but you got to hold there. And again, these are full Relic teams, and I know that the Newt lead is doing a lot for them, but this was just a cool team that I played around with. Got some holds. Again, not holding great teams. This was when Zaalbar was only at Relic 5. He was already doing good things, so I mean, I think it's worth getting Zaalbar to Relic. Relic 9 is wholly not needed. It's overkill. But I do think he's a good tank, so I took him all the way up to Relic 9 to get the most out of him. This was a variant of that team with Enfys Nest. Zaalbar probably was not a factor with this team. It's possible that Nest had protection down, and Zaalbar threw up a taunt to get in the way at a key moment. That's what I like to think anyways. And then since I've had him on Relic 9, I really haven't done too much with him. I did throw him into this Padme team. So the idea is Padme and Barriss can both heal up the team, and so if anyone falls below 100% health, Zaalbar will taunt Padme or Barriss, can heal the team, getting them back to 100% health. So even when the taunt goes away, if it's dispelled or if it just falls off naturally, everyone will be at full health again. And as soon as somebody else gets hit, Zaalbar throws up the taunt again to get in the way. So I've been thinking of other ways to maximize Zaalbar and how I might be able to use him. And really, he's just an excellent generic tank. You can throw him into any team. Got some theory crafting ideas. So this was kind of the base team. And I think something else that I failed to mention, I like him with Veteran Smuggler Han a lot. Veteran Smuggler Han has health steal. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's this. Yeah, he has a bunch of health steal. So they can knock him down, get some health off of him. And Zaalbar will taunt, and then just when Han attacks again, just because he's getting so much health steal, his health will fill back up. And also, he has why I like Han, he has a stun and ability block, an AoE ability block, and that stuns the primary target. So when we're looking at Newt Gunray's leadership of getting extortion out, he'll hit someone with extortion, and if they're stunned or ability blocked when they take their turn, then they spread the extortion to another enemy that doesn't have it. So it's nice. I really like this team, and like these are the core members, and you can play around with who else you want to throw in there. You have to build Veteran Smuggler Han for SLKR. So I thought, it's cool to look at attackers in particular who you have to build for a journey who you don't have the best use. You don't have a great use for them. So if you have a good attacker and you throw in Zaalbar as a tank, then all of a sudden he's going to help protect your attacker, and it can just be a good filler team, to throw on the back wall, or if you're just going heavy offense, you can kind of throw together a makeshift team, throwing somebody like Zaalbar in there to get some good protection. Then I'm toying with this idea. I don't think this would be enough, but I like on Luminara's leadership, everybody gains 8% of her max health at the start of their turn. Well, Jedi allies do. Non-Jedi allies, I guess, receive 4%, but it's this: whenever an ally gains a buff they do not have, they gain a heal over time effect for 2 turns. So anytime they get a buff, they'll get heal over time and be able to heal up. And so the idea is with TIE Fighter Pilot, he has a 35% chance to gain foresight at the end of each of his turns. So he's got that. He has ability blocks and tenacity down that he can put out to enemies. So just an idea. She also has this healing. Each ally recovers health equal to 45% of Luminara and Duli's max health, plus an additional 20% of her max health at the start of their next 2 turns. So the idea is, again, the opponent will attack, it'll get someone below 100% health, Zaalbar taunts. Just at the start of their turns, they're going to gain health from her leadership, and she will have this skill that she can throw up at some point. They'll heal up to get back to 100% health, even when the taunt from Zaalbar drops off, as soon as they hit somebody else, the taunt just comes right back. So those are just some ideas. Really, the idea is any sort of attacker, you throw in Zaalbar, you throw in a way to heal up the team, and you can make somewhat of a team out of it. So that's why I really I like Zaalbar. Of course, just from Knights of the Old Republic, I'm gonna like him anyways, and especially now that now that matchmaking has gone away and we've gone to a rating system in GAC, we're not punished for adding to our galactic power. So we're free to max out our characters and really try to make the most of them. So I'm excited to continue to use Zaalbar more. I know there are some Ray teams that use Zaalbar. He is a scoundrel, so he'll have a lot more uses as I advance in the game. Relic 9 is not needed, but it is pretty cool to have. So that's all I've got. That's why I like Zaalbar. If anybody else has Zaalbar or is seeing this and has some interesting ideas in terms of theory crafting, definitely let me know. You can leave it in the comments. You can send me a message on Discord. I definitely like to hear about Zaalbar, hear how you're using him, or hear theoretical ideas of how he might be used. So that's all I've got for now. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.